Hello, welcome to Golden, Colorado, USAPL Rise of the Kilonator. This is the morning session. We will be having youth, teen, and junior lifters this morning, mostly males. We have one female. We are going to record the squats, bench, and deadlift in different recordings, so you'll be able to watch them independently. My name is Kristen. I will be here today commentating for you. Have a great morning. I will today. Oh, and we want to thank our sponsors, Muscle and Mindset, DC Blocks, and Mountain Man Performance. Oh, Empower Physiotherapy and Training as well. All right, we're getting ready to go here. I will try to explain the squat rules to you as they go. And some of the lifters did some lifter bios, so I may give you some fun little facts and tidbits about the lifter. Our first lifter is Jax Mckay. And Jax is a youth 3. So this will, I think this will probably be the last year he can compete. Let's see how old he is. Jax is 12, so he'll have another year to compete in the U3 if he so chooses. And the squat has 2 commands. The commands in squat are squat and rack. As the lifting goes on, I'll explain to you if a lifter misses the lift and why. But basically, the lifter just has to squat down to below parallel, meaning the hip joint is below the knee joint. They come back up without any upward or downward movement of the bar, and then they rack it when they're told. So here's our first lifter, Jax Mckay. He looks a little nervous. He'll get through it just fine. All right, Jax walks back the bar. He's going to lock his knees out. There he goes. Then he gets the squat command. Plenty deep. He's just going to lock it out again. And then he gets the rack command. That looked like a good lift to me. Our internet has not been working, unfortunately, today, so you may not see the actual results of the lift on the computer, but I will tell you that that was a good lift for Jax. Up next is Aliana Mckay, who I am assuming is Jax's sister. We have a big group of kids that come from Colorado Springs. They're all coached by the same coach. Bar is loaded, so that there are 3 referees. The chief ref will call bars loaded. And this is not Aliana's first competition. She has competed before. Now, she currently holds all of the state records in her division. So she will hopefully beat her own records today. Okay, we'll see what the refs say. Yep, good lift for Aliana. Up next is Justin Bedrall. I apologize if I say the names incorrectly. Justin is a teen 1 lifter. In USA Powerlifting, we have lots of divisions. The open division can be age 14 to 114. Gets the squat command, looks deep enough, gets the rack command. But outside or within the open division, there are other divisions as well. We have a youth division that is a division in and of itself, which is age 8 to 13 and 364 days. And then we get into the teens, and they're by 2 years divided, so teen 1, 2, and 3. And then at 20 years old, there's juniors, 20 to 23. And then at age 24, from 24 to 39, the only option is the open. Okay, this is Benjamin Crumpton. Now he stepped back a little bit, so he probably is going to get it. Yeah, he's going to see the yellow card. That is because after he got the squat command, he stepped back. He just has to get set, lock his knees, and then squat, and he'll be fine. Back to the divisions, there are also masters divisions. So once a lifter reaches, in the year the lifter reaches the age of 40, so technically at age 39, the lifter can be considered a master. And each decade is 1, 2, 3, 4, and onward. So Masters 1 is in the 40s, Masters 2 is in the 50s, and so on. But within those decades, there's also A and B. So the first half is A, the second half is B. You won't see any of those lifters this morning, but there will be some this afternoon. This is Frederick Scott. They're telling him to re-rack it for some reason. I'm not sure. Or maybe it looks like the weights weren't tight enough, so they're just getting the weights tight for him. Now, technically, the lifters should step off the platform when they do that, but it's okay. All right, he gets set. Okay, looks good. Let's see what the refs say. Refs say good lift. Okay, up next is Jaden Mckay. Jaden is been around for a few years now. All these lifters, Jaden and I think his siblings and a few other lifters, all from Colorado Springs, are the same coach. They all started powerlifting during COVID when they couldn't swim, and a lot of them have stuck with it. And some of them have become national champions and record holders. They're really doing a great job. All right, Jaden is attempting 120 kilos for his squat. All right, we'll see what the refs say. They say good lift. Good job, Jaden. This lifter is Ezra Kaufman, who is part of that Colorado Springs swimming group, and he is an experienced lifter. And his lift of 127.5 kilos is a good lift. So we are back at the top of the order. Powerlifting is done in a round system. Today during this session, we have 3 flights, A, B, and C. Flight A will do all 3 of their squats. Flight B then will do all 3 of their squats. And Flight C will do all 3 of their squats. And then there will be a break and we'll move on to bench press. Bar is loaded for Jax. Jax's goal for this meet is to get a qualifying total, so he might want to go to Youth Nationals. Plenty deep. Yeah, he's going to have a little trouble with that, but that's okay. He can come back and get that. You will see the referees in the picture holding a yellow sheet that's called a yellow card. There are 3 colors of missed lifts, and that's so that the lifter and their coaches get an idea of why the lift was missed. An obvious miss is just a yellow card. There, in the squat, you may see some red cards, and those are for depth. And if one comes up, I will let you know when that is. Okay, this is Miss Aliana. That looked pretty good. Aliana's goals for this meet is to beat her records, and she already has. She beat it on her first squat, so she just beat her record personal best, and she's going to try to beat it again in her next one. So good job, Aliana. Up next is Benjamin Crumpton. Benjamin is a youth 3. Now, Benjamin missed his first because he stepped back. So hopefully his coach gave him some corrections, and he will get tight and he'll get this lift. Bars loaded. So when the chief ref calls bars loaded, the lifter has 1 minute to get on the platform and get the start command. I think this might be Benjamin's first meet. All right, Benjamin, you're going to do it. He's getting under the bar. All righty, he's stepping back. And he just has to stay steady. Gets the squat command. Nope, see, he did it again. He stepped again. He's got to not reset after he gets the squat command. Okay, yeah, it looks like he's getting some direction on why that happened. He'll get it. He just has to keep his feet steady, that's all. That's Dan Goudreau you see in the screen there in one of our co-state chairs. Up next is Justin Bedrall. Justin is attempting 187 pounds. Looked pretty good there. Good lift for Justin. Good job. Up next is Frederick Scott. You will notice that the plates are, well, maybe you won't notice, but the inside plates, the writing is facing in. The outside plates, the writing is facing out, and that is required by rule. And that is so that the refs can see the actual weight amounts. They usually know by the color, but and there's probably some marketing involved in that. Bar is loaded for Frederick. Frederick is attempting 220 pounds. And Frederick is a teen 1. Looks like a good lift for Frederick. Jaden Mckay. Jaden made 120 on his first. It's 125 for his second. Jaden says an interesting thing about him that things our audience wouldn't expect. He says, vote for me in 2044. So I guess he has aspirations to be a politician. Bars loaded for Jaden. Jaden walks back. He locks his knees. Now you can see the hand of the chief ref. And the lift is good for Jaden. along with the verbal commands, there's also sort of I guess a physical command, if you will. And sometimes these venues get very loud and it's hard for the lifters to hear, so they have to see the command as well. So the chief ref will have their hand up in the air and will lower it to indicate the start of the lift, and then we'll flex the elbow to indicate the rack. This is Ezra. Ezra is also an experienced lifter. That looks good. I got a red. No lift, depth. Okay. So with depth, it is the hip joint has to be below the knee joint. And you saw at least one of the refs there hold up the red piece of paper with the red stick. So unfortunately, since our electronics aren't working, if you were to see the electronics, the circles there on the bottom right of the screen would be, two of them would have been red, one of them would have been white. And under the red circles, there's a little square, and in that square, a color is going to come up, either red, yellow, or blue. In the squat, the red color is for depth, always. Bar is loaded for Jax, back to the top of the order. Nope. He's got some up and down movement of the bar. So the spotters and loaders took the bar, which is what they should do. That's good. And you will see that the two of the refs there held up a yellow card, and that yellow card is the catch-all, and that is also used for just a no lift. But Jax will get credit for 42.5 on his first. And this is his first meet, so it's all learning experience. Bar is loaded for Aliana, and she has already beat her current best and state record, so this is just icing on the cake. Nope, not going to get that one. She'll get it next time, but she's already beat her record, so she's going to get credit for 55. And pretty good for... Yeah, she weighs under 40 kilos, so she was squatting more than her body weight. So good job, Aliana. Okay, we got to get behind Benjamin here and make sure that he doesn't step. Once he gets that squat command, he has to just squat and stay in place. So let's get behind him and hope he does that. And his goals for this meet are to pick things up and put them down. Oh, no, that's Jaden's goals. I'm sorry. I don't have Benjamin's goals. Bars loaded for Benjamin. All right, he's thinking hard. He's going to get this. He's going to stay steady. His feet are not going to move. He's going to stay steady. All right, he got that one. Let's see if he got depth. All right, he managed to do that one okay, but let's see what the refs say. Yeah, yay, Benjamin! He got it. Good job. It's all a learning experience. All right, up next is Justin Bedrall, Teen 1. Gets the squat command. Nope, shakes it off. So as soon as she shakes it off, the the spotters and loaders take the bar. The chief ref should, either when they see up and down movement or when the lifter shakes it off, still say the squat command, because then that cues in the spotters and loaders to take the bar if they haven't already. As you can see as well, the apparatus is adjustable to height. We haven't seen anybody do it yet today, but those side arms also can come in at a little bit of an angle so that the lifter, if they want to, can have a wider grip. Or sometimes they don't even have a wider grip. They just like having the bars in closer. Bar is loaded for Frederick. Oh boy, now there is no rule as far as the bar staying horizontal, and Frederick did that lift just fine, nothing illegal there, but he did, as you can see, lift it a little bit not horizontal, and as long as the bar doesn't come down, totally fine. While they're loading, I'd like to thank our sponsors, Muscle and Mindset, DC Blocks, Mountain Man Performance, and Empower Physiotherapy and Training. Bar is loaded for Jaden. Jaden's goal for this meet is to pick things up and put them down. His best squat's 120 kilos, which he matched on his first, and he beat that on his second. So this one is icing as well. Nope. Yeah. But he beat his personal best on his second, so that's good. And his third, he was going for the stars, didn't quite get it, but he'll get it next time. Up next is Ezra. Ezra missed 132.5, and he did choose to go up to 135, which is fine. They're allowed to do that. The only thing a lifter cannot do is decrease weight. And you can see Ezra is wearing a belt, knee sleeves, which are allowed. All right, let's see if he gets that. Okay, so the side ref said that he was high on the side, so he didn't get depth. Again, that is the hip joint has to be below the knee joint. But Ezra is definitely plenty strong. He will come back and get that. Okay, we are now starting on flight B. That was a pretty quick flight. While they're getting that ready, I will go through our sponsors again, Muscle and Mindset, DC Blocks, Mountain Man Performance, Empower Physiotherapy and Training. We'd like to thank them all for their help and assistance. Our beat directors are Jason and Rachel Wood. And bar is loaded for Gavin. Gavin is competing in both Raw Open and Teen 2. That is also okay. Oftentimes lifters will compete in two different sessions or two different divisions, sorry, and that's fine. So Gavin could place and get an award in both of his divisions should he have the top lifts. The teen divisions are in 2-year increments, 14-15, 16-17, and 18-19. Teen 1, 2, and 3 respectively. Henry Proctor is our next lifter. And I've noticed a few green singlets, so I'm assuming maybe these guys are all on a team. And Henry is a teen 2, 16 to 17. Good lift for Henry. The lifter has 1 minute from the time the chief ref calls bars loaded to get the start command. There's no time limit on the amount of time to do the lift, although most lifters are anywhere from a second to maybe 5 or 6 seconds. And then once they get the rack command and rack the bar, they have 30 seconds to get off the platform and 1 minute to give the scoring table their next lift. Plenty deep there. That looks like a good lift. Yep, good lift. Good lift for, that was Christopher Muñez Barrera. Good lift. The scoring table is, you can't see it, but it's on the side there. So the lifter has 1 minute to go give their next lift to the scoring table. If the lifter neglects to do that, the scoring person, which is technically either an expediter, I guess, you will give if they miss the lift, they will give them the same number the next lift. That looks good. That looks good for Dennis Kidd. And if the lift was good and the lifter does not give their next attempt to the scoring table, then the scoring table will just increase by 2.5 kilos. All lifts must be increased by 2.5 kilos, unless the lifter is going for a record, which will not happen here today because we are just a local meet, and American records are only given at state meets and higher. The lifters can get state records, but those have to be in 2.5 kilo increments. Bar is loaded for Isabel De La Cruz. And Osvaldo is an open lifter. Plenty deep. Next up is Jude Marino. And Jude is a teen 2 lifter. USA Powerlifting is a drug-free federation. 10% of our lifters are tested at every single competition, whether it's local, state, national, regional, they're tested. That looks like a pretty good lift to me. Yep. Bar is loaded for Calvin. Calvin's first attempt is 160 kilos. Needs to lock his knees. Okay, he's not going to get the start. Okay. In a local or state meet, oftentimes the refs will just say, lock your knees, and they'll lock it. At a more national level meet, the chief ref would call for the lifter to rack it, and then would tell the lifter, hey, you need to get your knees locked. From my angle, it was hard to tell, but I think that's why it took a second or two to get the start command, because they were telling him to get his knees locked. In the squat, the knees need to be locked at the beginning and the end of the lift. Okay, bar is loaded for Dawson. Dawson is teen 3 and also competing in the open. Again, I think he needs to lock his knees. Plenty deep. Yeah, from this angle it's hard to tell, but good lift. Good lift for Dawson. Taryn Howard is up next. Taryn's first name is almost my last name. So we have one letter different. Taryn is attempting 425 pounds, just under 425 for his opener. Bars loaded. All right. He's getting himself under the bar. Big breath. Looks deep enough. Yep, that looked like a textbook squat. Good lift. Good job. Okay, we are going back to the top of the order with Henry Proctor. So the costume that is allowed or required for powerlifting is a t-shirt with sleeves that go over the delt and a singlet and shoes. That's really the only requirement for what the lifter has to wear. The lifter can wear a belt. The belt does have to meet specifications. It can't have padding. It can't be Velcro. It has to have certain specifications, but they can wear the belt. They can wear wrist straps. They can wear knee sleeves. And in the deadlift, they have to wear knee socks. Okay, we have a team from George Washington High School, and Henry is one of those lifters. We'll see what the refs say on that. It might have been a smidge high, but yeah, we have one high on the. Yep, was not deep enough, so he'll come back and get that. Dennis Kidd is next. Dennis is a teen 3, got 92.5 on his first, and is attempting 100 on his second. That's 220 pounds. Bars loaded. Lifter has 1 minute to get the start command. Once bars loaded is called. Another George Washington High School lifter. It's fantastic to see high school teams competing. I love to see young people getting into this sport. All right, he might have been a smidge high too. Let's see what the refs say. Nope, good lift. Awesome. So just to reiterate, the depth requirement is hip joint below the knee joint. And from my angle, I can't really tell. So if I say it might have been a smidge high, I really don't know anything because I'm not at the same angle as the refs. But that's why the refs are sitting where they are, to hopefully get a good angle on depth. All right, this is Gavin Sullivan. And Gavin gets the squat command. Plenty deep there. And he's a little bit of a lower bar squatter, which is fine. The only requirement is the lifter has to stand up as erect as possible. Some of the lower bar lifters tend to lean forward a little bit. Knees have to be locked at the beginning and the end of the lift, regardless of where the bar is. The bar can be anywhere from on the neck down to the shoulder blades, or technically it could probably even be below the shoulder blades if you have the flexibility in your shoulders to hold it. Bar is loaded for Christopher Munoz Barrera. And I think, Christopher's also from GW. So welcome to all you guys. Christopher moved his foot a little bit. I don't know if the refs are going to notice that. Nope, they didn't see it. So, and it wasn't a huge infraction. In fact, I probably wouldn't have called it either. It's just a tiny little movement of his foot, which technically would be a yellow card. Up next is Isabel De La Cruz. Bar is loaded for Osvaldo. And then he gets out quickly, gets his commands. Good lift there, definitely deep enough. Good lift for Osvaldo. Next up is Jude Marino. Again, this is a round system. The lifters will have 3 attempts at squat, 3 attempts at bench, and 3 attempts at deadlift. They have to get 1 good lift of each to get a total. Another GW lifter. I think they've got 5 or 6 guys here. Plenty deep. Oh, no, he stepped forward. He knew he did it when he did it. So no lift for him, but he's plenty strong. He'll come back and get it. He'll come back and get it. He just needs to stay set on his feet. And I don't even think that's technically he didn't jump the command. He just stepped forward from getting up on the lift. And he knew it when he did it. Okay, up next is Connor. You'll see some different kinds of shoe footwear. There are some requirements or, allowances for the types of shoes. Lifters can wear the traditional Olympic lifting shoe, but it cannot have a heel higher than 5 centimeters. And they're not supposed to have any inserts that are, there's requirements for inserts as well. They can wear regular tennies. They can wear Chuck E. Cheese, wrestling shoes. They cannot wear any outside hiking boots, cleats, that kind of stuff. And you can see that Calvin is wearing wrist straps, and that is completely legal. Needs to lock his knees. Gets the squat command. And you will also see that different lifters have different widths of their stance. Some are more narrow stance with their toes probably pointed a little bit more forward, all the way to almost a sumo type stance with the feet pointed out, and everywhere in between. It's just comfort level for the lifter and how their flexibility is. Dawson Aaron is up next. I want to thank our sponsors, Empower Physiotherapy and Training. Bar is loaded for Dawson. Gets the squat command. Plenty deep. Yep, that looks like a good lift. Yep, good lift. The chief ref knows to give the squat command when both of the side refs indicate the lifter is ready. And the way they indicate the lifter is ready is by lowering their arms. So if you might notice, the one side ref that's in the picture will have her arm up, and then she'll put that down when she feels the lifter has locked his knees out, and in this case his, but there are women lifters lifters as well, of course. But when the referee feels the lifter has the knees locked, the referee will lower his or her arm, and the chief ref will see that. Again, it's a majority rule, so if one side ref puts their arm down and the chief ref feels the lifter's ready, then the chief ref will call for the squat. Gets the squat command. Plenty deep. Looks good to me. The other thing you may notice on the squat is where lifters place their hands, their grip. There's no requirement in the squat where the hands are on the bar. They can be anywhere they want. Some lifters are very, very close to their head if they've got the shoulder mobility for that. Other lifters are farther out. It's just a lifter preference. Thank you to our sponsors, Muscle and Mindset, DC Blocks, Mountain Man Performance, and Empower Physiotherapy and Training. We couldn't put on these meets without the help of volunteers. Everybody up on that platform that you see right there is a volunteer. They might be getting paid with food, and that's about it. Okay, bar is loaded for Henry. Henry from GW. Love seeing these high school teams here. Locks it out, gets the squat command. Looks plenty deep. Oh, that looks good. I think he got that. He missed 92. He missed 92 and a half. I'm not sure why, but he went up to 102 and a half, and he got that pretty resoundingly. So good job, Henry. Dennis Kidd is our next lifter, and he will be trying 105 kilos. There has to be a minimum of 2 spotters on the platform and a maximum of 5. Most often you will see 3 until the squats start getting pretty heavy. Once the squats get to be about 500 pounds, they will generally put a couple more spotters on the platform. This is Dennis. Dennis. Yeah, he was high. He's probably not going to get that. No, well, the front. I don't know what the other side did, but the one side, yeah, I think the other side also called him on depth. So he's not going to get that lift, but he will get credited for 100, and it's all a learning experience, and he'll know next time. All right. Gavin is up 107.5. Bars loaded for Gavin. He gets deep enough. Yeah, he looks like he got that. He's looking down, which is kind of hard to ref that, I guess you will, if you will. But it was a good lift. He did it. And, you know, every lifter does things differently, the way they feel good. And he got that lift, and he went 3 for 3 on a squat. So good job, Gavin. Up next is Christopher Munoz Barrera, and he is doing a 10-kilo jump from his second. Bars loaded. Another GW lifter. Plenty deep. Yeah, he has way more in him. We'll put some weight on the bar for him next time. Good job, Christopher. All right, next up is Jude Marino. Jude missed his second at 155, but he is doing a slight increase up to 157.5 for his third. Lifter can do that, not a problem. The only thing the lifter cannot do is go down in weight. Well, there's one exception to that rule. And I doubt we'll get that today, when that's in the deadlift. In the third deadlifts, when lifters are jockeying for placement, they can change their attempts down, but within certain parameters. Look deep enough. Okay, there he got it. I remember now. He stepped forward on his last one. That's what happened. He stayed steady on that one, and he got that one. Good job. Isabel De La Cruz is up next. Took a pretty decent jump from 147.5 to 160. He must be feeling pretty good. Bar is loaded. Oh, he's got a cheering section out there. Plenty deep. Yep, definitely a good choice to make that big jump. That was a good lift. Up next is Connor. Connor just took a 2.5 kilo jump, so he may have felt kind of gassed on his second. We'll see how he does on his third. Bars loaded. Gets the squat command. Plenty deep. Yeah, that's why he only went up 2.5. He knew he pretty much emptied the tank on his second. But he will get credit for 160. Calvin Burkhart is attempting 170. He took a 5 kilo jump from his second. While they're loading that, again, thank you to Empower Physiotherapy and Training, Mountain Man Performance, DC Blocks, Muscle and Mindset. Bar is loaded. You'll see lifters get under the bar in many different ways and methods. None of them are wrong. None of them are right. It's just what the lifter does. I don't know that his knees are locked, but he got the start command. All right, we'll see what the refs say. Good lift. Up next is Dawson Aaron. Dawson is taking a 10-kilo jump from 190 to 200. He's attempting 440 pounds. He's a teen 3 lifter, so 18 or 19. Bars loaded for Dawson. He's resetting. That's fine. He's allowed. Oh, the rack heights are wrong. Okay, so what happens when the rack heights are wrong is if it's the spotters and loaders' fault, then the chief ref should reset the clock, the 1 minute clock, so the lifter doesn't get penalized for that. If for some reason the lifter put in wrong numbers or did something wrong, then that 1 minute clock will not reset. Looked like a good lift to me. So the lifter has 1 minute from the time the chief ref calls bars loaded to get their squat command. And if there's a misload or something like that that's not the lifter's fault, they will not get penalized for that. Now, if the lifter has like their thumb loops on, which are not allowed, or socks are touching their singlet, which is not allowed, or something where they have to adjust their costume, they have to step off the platform and make that adjustment, and they will not get a reset of the clock. So they have to do that within the 1 minute. Okay, our last squat of Flight B is Taryn Howard. Taryn is attempting 210 kilos, 463 pounds. We got some big guys up there right now helping spot this one. I think he got that. I think that's a good lift. Let's see what the refs say. Good lift. Good job. All right. So on to Flight C. And I don't want to jinx Flight C, but everybody in Flights A and B got totals. So let's try keep that trend going and make sure that everybody got a lift. Sorry, not totals. Let's try to keep that trend going so everybody gets a total today. The rules are, well, let me thank our sponsors before I get into that. Muscle and Mindset, DC Blocks, Mountain Man Performance, and Power Physiotherapy and Training. The lifter has to get at least one lift, one squat, one bench, one deadlift in order to get a total. They have to have a total to place. They have to have a total if they've made a record, either state or otherwise. Otherwise, they won't get their record because they didn't get a total. Now, if a lifter, quote, bombs out, unquote, meaning they don't get a lift, they can still compete. They can still do the other lifts. They just won't get a total. Okay, we are in Flight C. Flight C looks to be our junior men. First one is Pranav. And I'm sorry, Pranav, if I'm saying your name wrong. And I don't know that I'm even going to try your last name. Up next is Cameron Binns. So again, with the squat, there are 2 commands, squat and rack. The lifter has to have their hip joint go below the knee joint to make depth. And their feet need to stay planted in the same place through the whole lift. And the bar path has to go up. It can stop, it just can't go down. All right, Cameron is competing in both junior and open. Gets the squat command, plenty deep, gets the rack command. Good lift. All of our lifters today are raw. There's also equipped lifting, which is where or when the lifter wears supportive suits that help with the lift. And completely different animal. They will also wear knee wraps on the squat, and that is supposed to help with the lift. Okay, so this next lifter who's coming out is Bradley Crumpton. And he's a master. He must have to, okay. See, I was hoping the ref would notice this. The bottom of his singlet is touching his knee sleeves. That is not allowed. So the ref made him step off the platform and fix it, which is totally fine. And he still's got 34 seconds to get his start command. And he will not get an adjustment on his time on that because the lifter needed to adjust his costume. All right, he gets under the bar. All right, and he steps it back. Now, these are mostly junior lifters this morning, but sometimes the meet directors will help out with lifters that maybe have a commitment or something and they can't. Okay, he was high on one side. Okay, so he was both called him high. So he'll hopefully come back and get that on his second. The meet directors here are Jason and Rachel Wood. They do a great job. They've done lots of meets over the years. They're always a lot of fun. We also have meets up in Fort Collins, meets down in Pueblo. We haven't had any on the Western Slope yet, but maybe we'll get there sometime. Bars loaded for Durian Shade. Durian is attempting 167.5. He looks plenty deep. Gets the rack command. So, yeah, he should make that lift. Yep, good lift. Okay, up next is Miguel Lebaron. And Miguel is attempting 175 kilos. So most of our lifters in this flight are junior lifters. We have the one master lifter who probably couldn't lift this afternoon for whatever reason. And some of these juniors are also competing in the open division. Open division is anywhere from 14 to 114. Anybody who's age 24 to 38 has no choice but to compete in open. Let's see what the refs say. He could have been a smidge high, but nope, he gets it. Good lift for Miguel. Up next is Sean Spindler. And please understand from my vantage point, I'm far away looking at a video, so if I say they look high or they look that, it's up to the refs. It's not up to me. I'm just trying to give the viewer an idea of what the refs are looking for. Okay, this is Sean. Sean's attempting 180 kilos. There's no prohibition in jewelry or anything like that. That's totally fine. Gets the squat command. We'll see what the refs say again. That looked parallel, but nope, they say good Good. Parallel is not depth. The hip joint has to be below the knee joint. All right, up Joshua Lemons. Or Lemos, sorry, Joshua. Or Josh, not sure. I heard someone in the audience call him Josh, so I will call him Josh. Headbands are okay. That's not forbidden. Hats are. They cannot wear hats. And the headbands actually have to be a commercially manufactured headband. That looked like a good lift. Okay, our Benjamin Gottfried is up. Bars loaded for Benjamin. All right, get steady under that bar. He's pretty wide stance squatter. Looks plenty deep. Gets the rack man. That looked really good. And that's a good lift. Good job. All right, up. Last of Flight C is Samuel Johnson. His goal today is maybe to hit a squat PR. So his best squat is 195. So he looks to be on track to do that. Bars loaded for Samuel. Oh, someone in the audience called him Sam, so I'm going to assume he goes by Sam. All right, he gets set, looks at the, oftentimes you'll see the lifter look at the chief ref like, yep, I'm ready, call it. And that was plenty deep, good lift. So he looks on track to hit his goal for the day. All right, back to the top of the order. Starting with Pranav Chidambaram. I'm sorry if I'm mutilating your name, Pranav. Pranav hit 122.5 in his first and is attempting 130 on his second. While they're getting that bar loaded, let's thank our sponsors. Empower, Mountain Man, Muscle Mindset, DC Blocks. Bar is loaded. Looks plenty deep. Grinding a little bit, but he got that. Good lift. Good job. Up next is Cameron. Cameron hit 147.5 on his first and attempting 160 on his second. Bar is loaded for Cameron. Cameron's getting that bar right in the right spot before he lifts it out of the rack. Gets the start command. Looks plenty deep. Locks it out. Looked like a good lift. Yep, Good lift. Good job, Cameron. All right, next up is Bradley. Okay, Bradley missed his first for depth. And he might have been a little off of groove because they made him step off the platform and fix his costume. So hopefully he gets it this time. Let's cheer him on because we want everybody to get at least one of their lifts. Bradley's our one Masters lifter today. The Masters, he's a 1B, meaning he's age 45 to 49. He's going to get this one. He's going to get deep enough. He's getting that bar in the right spot. And you can see that he's got a little bit of a wider grip, which is fine. He's also got a suicide grip where the thumb is behind the bar. Again, totally fine. See what the refs say on this. I think he was a little deeper on that one. Nah. Okay, 2-1. Good lift. So, excuse me. It's a majority rules. As long as 2 referees agree that the lifter made the lift, then it's a good lift. The left referee still felt he was too high, but the right referee felt he was deep enough. I can tell you from experience, my left side is always higher than my right side, so it is not crazy that one ref would see high and one would not. Durian Shade is up. And you see Durian just takes a really short step back. That is very efficient. Looks like a good lift to me. Yep, good lift. Up next, Miguel Lebaron. Miguel attempted and got 175 on his first, and will get 185 on his second. They're checking the rack heights there. The racks will, they have a, there's a rule for how high they can go, and I don't remember it, and I need to remember that because I'm going to be taking my test here soon to become the next level of a referee. But I do know that they are in 5 centimeter increments as far as those little holes you see there, 5 centimeters. All right, gets the squat command. Plenty deep. That looks good to me. Let's see what the refs say. Yep, good lift. Sean Spindler is up. He made 180 on his first. 12.5 kilo jump. I'm not much on the math, but at least I think I can do that one. At the end of the day, when we're on lifter 130 and my math skills deteriorate exponentially. Now, there is also a rule as far as how high up on the hand the wrist straps can go and how far down the arm they go. Now, there's a little bit of downward movement on that. So he can try to make some adjustments and come back and get that. But he did get his first. So everybody now is going to get a squat total of some sort. We like to see that. We like if you follow along on Lifting Cast, the good lifts come up as green and the no lifts come up as red. And we like to see all green on the board. Josh Lemos is up. Josh took a 10 kilo jump while they're getting that ready. We'll just do a quick run through our sponsors again. Empower Physiotherapy, Mountain Man Performance, DC Blocks, Bars Loaded. Now that USA Powerlifting is good lift has separated from the IPF. That's Dan Gaudreau up there on the platform helping out. I think they got Dan out there because we are getting into some heavier weights now. I want to make sure that we have safety first with our lifters. Dan is our state chair with his wife, Jen. They're just making sure that they get the rack heights right and everything correct. So we'll go to that one sponsor I missed before, Muscle and Mindset. Bars Loaded. This is only Sam's second meet, but he's been lifting for 3 or 4 years. So deep. Yeah. There's no question on depth on that one. Okay, rounding it out is Benjamin Gottfried, 210. You can see from this angle, the Eleiko is facing in on the inside plate. The Eleiko is facing out on the outer plates. That is a rule that it has to be like that. I look pretty good. We'll see what the refs say. Good lift. All right, back to the top of the orders. Third attempt squats, Pranav. 135 kilos. While they're resetting, again, let's thank our sponsors, Muscle and Mindset. Muscle and Mindset had a lot of lifters here yesterday that all did really well. It's Amanda Pirro. DC Blocks. Oh, Bars Loaded already. They did that really fast. Okay, top of the order. Pranav, 135. All right, there was some swearing there in the audience, which we don't love when kids are around, but look deep enough. A little bit of a grind. Looked good to me. Let's see. Refs say good lift. Up next is Cameron Binns. Bar is loaded for Cameron. Gets his squat command. Looks plenty deep. Yep, he's got way more in him. He can do more than that. Good lift for Cameron. Bradley Crumpton took a 10-kilo jump. He hit 167.5 on his second. He is our one master lifter. He's going to attempt 177.5 on his third. Bars loaded. Walks it back, okay, he locks his knees, gets the squat command. I don't know, we'll see what the refs say. I mean, he seemed like he might be deep enough. We'll see the ref. Good lift. Good job, 177.5. Good job, Bradley. Next is Durian Shade. Durian made 172.5 on his second, and he is increasing up to 187.5 for his third. There is no limit on how much a lifter can increase their next attempt. It's really lifter preference. That looks good. We'll see what the refs say. Yeah, good lift. Good job. And Durian has a very efficient walkout. He just goes 1, 2, boom. And, as they're getting into these heavier weights, lifter uses energy to step back. And so the less energy they use to step back, the better. And Durian has a very efficient walkout. Bars loaded for Sean. Sean missed this on his second, but we can hear the crowd cheering him on to try to get this for his third. He's getting his feet set, gets the squat command. All right. I think he might be a little high, but we'll see what the refs say. Yeah, at least the left ref says high, and so does the right. Yeah, so he was too high. The hip joint has to be below the knee joint. Miguel Lebaron is up, 192.5. But Sean will get credit for 180 for his first squat, so he's still in the competition. Bar is loaded for Miguel. All right, Miguel walks it back, locks the knees, gets the squat command. I think he's going to be good there. We'll see what the refs say. Yep, good lift. Good lift for Miguel. I think he had some good numbers choices on that one. All right, Joshua Lemos. Josh, 205. He hit 195 on his second. He locks out there quickly. All right, let's see what the refs say on depth. Yep, they gave it to him. Good job. All right, so Josh will get 205 for his squat. Samuel Johnson. Unfortunately, we are not able to actually live stream this today because the internet we just don't have the bandwidth, and we're recording, but Sam did want to give a shout out to his oldest friend, Wyatt, and he's getting married soon. So congratulations, Wyatt, on your impending nuptials. All right, bars loaded for Sam. Plenty deep. Oh, he's grinding. He's grinding. He got that. That's a perfect third attempt. Perfect third attempt. Good job. That's the way to grind. All right. Our last squat of this session, Benjamin Gottfried, 215 kilos. Normally, if we were in the live stream, I would tell you we're taking a break after this, but we're just going to wrap up this recording, and then we'll do a new recording for the bench. So if you're looking for all 3 lifts, just click back on the YouTube and get the bench session. Bar is loaded for Benjamin. Benjamin's attempting 215 kilos, 474 pounds. Locks it out. See what the refs say. It looked pretty good. Yep, good lift. So everybody in this session got a squat. So far, at least we don't have any lifters that are not going to get a total because of the squat, thankfully. So I'm going to sign off now, but before I do that, I want to give a last thank you to Muscle Mindset and Amanda Pirro, DC Blocks, Derek Crass, Mountain Man Performance, and Empower Physiotherapy and Training. Those are the sponsors for this competition. We couldn't do these meets without sponsors and volunteers. All of our spotters and loaders are volunteers. They might get some food. Our refs are volunteers. Everybody does this for the love of the sport. Powerlifting is fantastic. Please come join us sometime for our next competition. You're not too young. You're not too old. Anybody can do it. Have a fabulous day.